How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Welcome back to another very special Adventure Quest video. And for today's video, the main topic is going to be about charisma. Yes, that's right, guys. So I did a comparison of the pets and guesses, okay, before and after the stat revamp. Actually, it was only the guesses, I think. But we did receive another round of nerfs to charisma as a whole, or Beastmaster builds as a whole, with the recent debacle surrounding the optical miscellaneous item. So I talked about this inside of last week's video, and it is a nerf, in my opinion, a pretty hefty one. Like, I really don't see the point of nerfing it when you're releasing so many items that gives pet and guest celerity, and then you kind of want to nerf the hyper crit to the pet and guest celerity. Like, what gives, man? Like, it makes no sense at all. So let's go ahead and do another comparison video on why I think charisma is probably the worst substat out of the three to train right now. Some will argue that it's probably still endurance, but I think charisma is in a even worse spot. Okay, so I'll explain why. So this is with 250 charisma. You can see here most of the guesses, they are still not getting the they are still not hit with the, what do you call it, the power reduction yet. So we're still getting the full 60% melee power output for most guesses right now, but it's going to get nerfed, guys. And yeah, all numbers that you see here is just going to be a lot worse. So you can see right now, if I just attack 471 MP, and then I can toggle this, and it gives me 49.63% backlash. Okay, just do a quick test between having charisma and no charisma. So this guess, I don't know if it actually ferocious strikes or not, but if it doesn't, then this is a number you'll be looking at. Booster guesses are excluded from the ferocious strike effect. So yeah, if you're only going to be using boosters, then do not train charisma, because it's simply not worth investing 250 stat points into this charisma stat when you don't even get the ferocious strike bonus. Okay, so take a look at this, 23.2% damage, and then now we can take a look at Polala. Okay, Polala will be 41.2% and 15.4%. Alright, so now we can do Ramsey to look at the standard elemental guess. Let's look at how much he does. Okay, 32.2% for melee, and range and magic gets 51.5%. Okay, so now we can switch over to Mosquito. Alright, so let's look at how much he heals here. Alright, 172 HP. 276 MP. And 185 SP. Okay, so next up we have Shogun and Ansatsu, or Anatsu, however you want to call it. Okay, let me see here. Let's just do the max damage. Alright, so we pay 13k gold to get the max damage. Let's take a look. Okay, that did about, I think it's about 100 plus. Wait, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, 5719. Alright, so it's about 5400. So it's about 300 damage. Decent. Alright, so now we switch out to Tidal Pirate contract. Once again, another gold costing guess. Slice and dice for regular damage. Boom, 361. Oh, there's the ferocious strike going off. Right, so without ferocious strike, it's only about 180. Not that good. Now we can have him throw the burning water bombs, 2.5, 3 rounds. And then creature 72. Last guess that we want to test out over here. Alright, let's have him do fear. Bam. Okay. 55.5 for 1 round or 0 rounds. Okay, so now we can do panic. Alright, so 0.63, 123.5 DC. And for regular attack, boom, so it's about 170 to 180, same as the Pirate, almost the same. Alright, so now I'm going to untrain charisma, and you guys are going to see the difference. Alright, 1 second. Alright, so we are back, and now charisma is fully untrained. Alright, so we can take a look at this. Alright, so let's compare. 282, it's about almost half, I would say. Now let's go and toggle on the backlash. The backlash is 22.33, which is less than half of when you have charisma. So for guesses like this, could be worth to train. Charisma, but keep in mind you cannot Ferocious Strike with this. Again, I'm not sure if this is a bug or if this is intended. Let's check out Dunamis. Okay, Dunamis, you're getting 13.9. That's less than half of the boost, I think. I don't really remember exactly for Dunamis. Let's check out Polala. Polala 10.4, 27.8. So yeah, it's about half. I would say it's still not very worth because booster guesses you cannot lucky strike with them, which means that you're wasting some amount of power. Okay, you're not getting the full power that other typical guesses would get. Now let's check out Ramsey. I think this is the worst value in terms of training charisma and not training charisma. Like, look at this. Without charisma, you're still getting 23.2% range and 40.5% magic. So you're only losing about 10% if you don't train charisma. So if you're just using elemental boosters, then you definitely do not want to train charisma because it's not worth it at all. Now, next up, what about healing guesses like Mosquito? Let's see. 76. Okay, not that great. MP, it's less than half for sure. Okay, MP is 102, slightly less than half. And then SP, 86. Alright, so for healing guesses like Mosquito, then I guess it's worth it to train Charisma because you're getting more than double the healing, and not forgetting that these could also Ferocious Strike. Alright, now Shogun and Ansatsu, so they did about 300 damage previously. Let's see how much damage they can do now. 7163, ooh, it's about 150, so yeah, the damage is about half. Let's see that again, 6775. Yeah, so the damage is about halved. Is it worth it to train Charisma? Probably yes, because you're getting double damage base, and on top of that you also get a chance to Ferocious Strike. Now, Tire Pyre Red Contract, what about this guy? So for status guesses, not really worth it. You're only affecting the chance to inflict the status, you're not affecting the power of the status. Alright, so let's see it do regular damage. Alright, oh. Okay, regular damage, slice and dice, let's go. Alright, so 69, that's about 70, we'll cap it off at 70. So 70 compared to about 180. Yep, you're getting more than double the damage if you train Charisma, which is good. And of course, you still have the chance to Ferocious Strike. Now, last but not least, Summon Creature 72. Alright, so this one is just the regular attack. Let's see how much it does. Alright, 100. 200 is actually pretty good. Was there a high roll? Was there a fluke? Let's see. Yeah, I think there was a fluke. Okay, so they're about 70. About same as Pirate Contract. Now let's take a look at the Fear. The Fear over here, 55.5, same. And then for the Panic, alright, 95.5, 0.63. Alright, so the DC is lower, but the outgoing damage reduction is the same. So, the question that you've all been waiting for, or the answer you've all been waiting for, should you train Charisma or not? And the answer to that is, it depends on what type of guesses you use. Alright, if you're using booster guesses, okay, like your Essence of Carnage, Essence of Carnage, I don't know if it classifies as a booster guess or not, but Essence of Carnage, I would say probably, okay, this is a bit of an in-between. It's a bit hard to judge because you don't have the Ferocious Strike over here. But at the same time, you're not getting like a lot of value out of training Charisma. So if you're using Essence of Carnage, I think either way you won't go wrong. If you're using boosters like Polala and Dunamis, I would say it is probably not worth it to train Charisma. Just go without Charisma. I think it'll be better off. And for specific elemental power-up guesses like Ramsey, like your Migoi, Squee, your Mog Lightner, all those kind of specific elemental booster guesses, do not train Charisma. You're wasting 250 points in a stat for like extra 10% boost. That is not worth it at all, and you can't even Ferocious Strike with them. For healing guesses like Mosquito, then yes, it's very worth it to train Charisma, as you guys can see. Okay, it's still worth it to train Charisma, even more so now because you're getting a pretty huge BTH boost, okay, from the Charisma stat. Alright, and the healing is more than double at the base amount. This is not including the chance to Ferocious Strike. For pure damage guesses like Shogun and Ansatsu, I would say yes, it's worth it because training Charisma gives you more than double the damage, and you also have a chance to Ferocious Strike. For status guesses, this is a big, I would say it's a big depends, okay? while the power doesn't get reduced, you do have a greatly reduced chance of inflicting the status effect. Of course, you can change this up with like maybe a spotter drake pet, maybe a potency shield, maybe a potency miscellaneous items. All those are going to help. Okay, even without the pet, so even without any charisma. So I think that could, for status guesses, it could still be worth not training charisma and using it. Of course, you could you should keep in mind that you're losing out on a bunch of BTH. Is it worth sacrificing the BTH and the slight extra boost to infliction for status guesses? I would say yes. Because you have so much potency nowadays, I think it's still better for status guesses if you do not train charisma. Alright, so if you are the type who uses booster guesses or the type who uses status guesses, then you can skip the charisma. If you're the type who uses healing guesses, and if you're the type who uses pure damage guesses, then you can continue to run charisma, and I think it will still give decent value compared to those who do not run charisma. Ultimately, it depends on what type of build you like to play, but the power of charisma has definitely been nerfed. Do not make any mistake about that. And of course, there is also the other nerf for optical, which really sucks. Alright, but that's my take on charisma. Is charisma a completely dead stat now? I would say no, it's not completely dead. Maybe I was overreacting a little bit. But is it a lot less useful? Yeah, it's definitely a lot less useful. This does open up a lot more choices to other stats, and like I mentioned in the previous video talking about luck, talking about dexterity, I think the right way to go, or the way to best maximize the power that you can get from this stat revamp right now, is to hybridize, because your substats, they just aren't that attractive anymore. Endurance has never been attractive to begin with, and it's not more attractive right now, at least to me. Alright, maybe for lower level players, yes, endurance is still an attractive stat to train, but for endgame players, not so much. Charisma, because of the huge cut in power, because of the nerf to optical, and god knows what other nerfs they are planning for it. Okay, it's highly dependent, but overall, I'm going to say no. Luck is really the only substat, okay, that I feel like is still worth training. So your two biggest winners are strength and dexterity, but there's no reason to be training both of these stats at the same time. So ideally, you still want to go into intellect, because even though intellect didn't get anything good or useful out of the stat revamp, you still get a lot of versatility out of the MP bar. Don't get me wrong, intellect is not nerfed, it's just that it didn't get anything special out of the stat revamp. Whereas the other two main stats did get something special. Whether you want to go into strength or dexterity, that highly depends on your playstyle. If you want to go warrior, then of course strength. If you want to go ranger, then dexterity. Okay, I've talked about dexterity already. I will probably be talking about strength in the next installment of this stat revamp series, so that you guys can look forward to that. With that being said, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think of charisma as a whole. Do you think it's a completely dead stat now? Do you think it's still useful, or do you think it's situational like what I said? Love to hear your comments down in the comment section below. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host, Battleon Gaming. Peace out.